Dozens killed by police overnight in Kazakhstan protests.
Here's a summary of the article.
By AFP, AP. Kazakhstan's president dismissed his government and declared a state of emergency on Wednesday in response to protests over rising gas prices. The government had initially tried to calm protesters by conceding a reduction in the price of liquefied natural gas, setting it at 50 tenge per liter, compared with 120 at the start of the year, a significant increase in a country where the minimum wage is 42,500 tenge a month. Protesters, some of whom attacked vehicles, chanted anti-government slogans such as "Government Resign" and "The Old Man Out," in reference to former President Nursultan Nazarbayev, who, as the mentor of current leader Kassym-Jomart Tokayev, remains very influential. The Interior Ministry reported that more than 200 protesters were arrested for violations of public order, and 95 police officers were injured. Protests continued on Wednesday with police firing stun grenades at protesters in Almaty. A state of emergency has also been declared until the 19th of January in the regions of Mangistau, where the protests started, and Almaty, where a nighttime curfew will be in force. They are accused of having increased the price of gas without reason, which has led to massive protests throughout the country, according to the outlet.
This post received a score of 4,600, with an upvote ratio of 97%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
What's going on in Kazakhstan? Went from higher gas prices to potential conflict in a week. Was there any long-term unrest going on before that? Every hint of protest or opposition was swiftly crushed, hence the stability. Things started changing in 2018, when the QDT called for protests during a visit of the official mission of the EU. Protests started slowly growing from then on, gaining even wider support at the beginning of 2019 when 5 children burned to death in an apartment fire, both parents having to work a night shift. In response to protests, dictator Nazarbayev first dismissed parliament and then eventually announced his retirement. The snap election for his successor, a close ally who received 70% of the votes, sparked even more protests and widespread reports of fraud.
Thanks for all the info.
It's especially terrifying for me to think about, since my girlfriend is from Kazakhstan and coincidentally went back there a few weeks ago to celebrate the holidays with her family in Almaty. I have no idea whether she's all right or not, as the government has cut off all possible ways of communication. Haven't heard from her since yesterday's midnight. With all the chaos going on, it's impossible not to worry.
I feel for you, man. One of my colleagues and friend also went back there to visit her family for the new year and we haven't been able to contact her since.
And now they have a Russian-led Peace Corps to do the shooting. Insane how the Kazakh government just allows a foreign power to shoot at its citizens.
The alternative is to allow these citizens to hold them accountable for their actions, and seeing how these selfish fucks are corrupt beyond human comprehension, it won't benefit them at all.
Why does this have less upvotes than a post about Taiwan selling fruit?
I don't understand why the post about Taiwan selling fruit is upvoted at all. Who gives a fuck?
I scratched my head when I saw that one. I'm as pro-Taiwan as anyone, but almost 20k upvotes to the top of the sub, for an article about selling some fruit. At this point though I don't assume much of anything is truly organic on Reddit anymore. Probably someone set their upvote bots onto the wrong article.
That head scratcher should open your eyes to the fact that unlike their claims, a lot of Redditors really don't care that much about human rights. So many Redditors criticize China and call for the Chinese government's collapse out of some care for alleged human rights abuses in China, yet actual deaths and documented human rights abuse currently occurring in Kazakhstan receives less attention than Taiwanese sale of fruit to Singapore.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.